Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Texas Double Running Talk Show. This is your host, Briston Rains, and today we have Liam, who ran 109 miles in under 24 hours. How many kilometers is that again? It's like
Uh,
170, right?
176.
176 kilometers. A lot of crazy stuff went down. There's a whole documentary on YouTube about it. It's amazing. Like, I don't know who filmed it and edited it or did all that, but they did an amazing job. So all that's going to be in the description. But before we get to that, I did decide to start a Patreon. So if y'all want to donate like a couple dollars, like $3 a month, you can now do that to help support the show. So if you want to help me keep the show going, just click the Patreon in the link description. First time I'm ever doing this. Excited about it. So if you want to do that, go ahead, link in the description. And also, we do have a sponsorship. It's Creed and Legal. So they're helping me get my LLC and my trademark. And they're in the Frisco area, but they could work pretty much anywhere online. So make sure you go check out Creed and Legal. They're on Instagram. That's how I found them. And they're going to give you your best legal advice for any business you have. So if you have any businesses, they're the place to go. Creed and Legal, guys. All right. So let's go ahead and get to Liam. Liam, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. And tell us a little bit about the 100-mile trek.
Hello, everyone. My name is Liam McVarnock. I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada. If anyone doesn't know where that is geographically, it's basically northeast of New York. I'm 24 years old. I'm a personal trainer. Last summer in August, I attempted to run 176 kilometers. I won't spoil anything right now, but there was a lot of things that went down that day.
Yeah, a lot of crazy things. And if you watch the documentary, you're just gonna be like, "What?" Like literally, it was like, I don't know. We'll get to it. I don't want to do any spoilers, but as we do before every show, I'll go over the main topics and the subtopics so you guys kind of know what we're going to be talking about throughout the show. So, main topic number one is, why did you run 109 miles in under 24 hours, and what's your why? Main topic number two is, did you train for this, and how did training look? Main topic number three is, what's the secret to being as mentally tough as you were? And then subtopics was, how hard was it running 109 miles? When you this is going to get to the spoilers a little bit. When you strained your knee with about 30 kilometers left to go, what went through your head? What was the moment like when you finished? How long did it take you to fully recover? And what's the next feat? So that's just a brief overview, and we'll go ahead and hop into the first main topic. So why did you decide to do this? What was your why?
So for myself, I come from a competitive sports background. So I played very high level soccer, football, like American football. But later in life, like I didn't have that challenge anymore. So I did an Ironman triathlon in 2019. I thought that would be my big challenge. It didn't end up being necessarily the challenge I thought it was going to be. So once the new year came, I knew I wanted to do a 100-miler. I was obsessed with the whole culture of it. So it just made sense that we had to do a 100-miler.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And throughout the whole thing, what was kind of pushing you? Like, so from start to finish, I forgot like when exactly it started hurting for you, but from start to finish, like there's a point to where like you had like a lot left to go and it was hurting. So like, what was pushing you when you were hurting?
The big thing was, well, two main things I would say. One, I was looking for like the wall that everyone talks about, or like that breaking point. And I truly did not believe I was there yet. So that was trying to get to that place was motivating because I knew I wasn't there yet. And then the contrast of that is I had so many people around me that were like helping, volunteering, keeping me going, that like I couldn't let them down because they came out to support me, if it makes sense. So it wasn't even for me anymore. It was like for everyone around me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know a lot of people to where like they do a lot of races and it's not even for them. Like it gets to the point to where it's like for the people around them and the people that are like depending on them. So yeah, I think that's awesome though. So did you train for this? And if you did, like how did you train for it?
I kind of trained for it. So over the winter, so the event happened in August. Uh, Starting in about January, I started training for a 100-mile race. I worked with a coach. We were slowly building up each week by like more time on my feet, and it was trail running. I got up to probably about 4.5 hours on my feet by around the March timeframe. And then coronavirus happened. I was supposed to head down to Utah for a race in April. That got canceled. So I kind of stopped training mid-March when coronavirus happened, and then I didn't start training again till July.
Okay. And what was like the longest distance you've done before this?
I ran a marathon once, and it was in the Ironman in 2019.
All right. So let me get this right. You did a marathon, an Ironman, and then you did a little bit of training for this, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
Wow. That's insane, man. And the fact, wait, so did you I think I watched like majority of the documentary, but I got a little busy at the end. So did you end up like actually running 109 miles in under 24 hours, or were you close, or what did that look like?
Nah, so I didn't even. So how far did I get? I got 151 in like 24 hours.
Yeah,
Uh, I got 147 on my own 2 feet, and then I got four more on crutches. And then after that, that took like almost 2.5 hours on crutches, 4K.
that's
Uh,
crazy, man.
and
Wow.
my legs were destroyed. And by then, like my hands, they both blistered all across them from the crutches, and my lats, everything was just
Wow,
blistered.
man.
And
That's
it's like,
crazy.
by then it was so long, and everyone had been awake for like 30 hours that's when in the video, people will see like that's when the kind of handoff happened, and my buddies finished the last 25K. I couldn't finish it.
Wow, man. That's insane. So like what was going through your head when you hurt your knee, and like how far did you have left?
Uh, when I hurt my knee, I thought it was just my body trying to reason with me, honestly, because like so from like the minute I crossed the first marathon, my body was giving me like fake injury signals every 2K. It'd be like, oh, your left foot is hurt, you should stop. And then it's your quad, and then it's, oh, is that a pain in my knee? Like, hey, your body's just reasoning with you. So when it came up, I'd been feeling that for like 14 hours. So I was like, this is just normal. And then it got worse and worse, and I was like, oh, this is not normal. And I, for the listeners that are wondering, like I also had a knee injury when I was 17 where I had 2 surgeries. So I had a good feeling of what a real knee injury felt like, and it wasn't nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think they said in the documentary that you strained it or something, right?
I thought it was a strain. Now, medical expertise afterwards, I have 2 tears in my knee, in my meniscus. So yeah, I did a good number on it.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's crazy, man. And you ended up you said you crutched 4 kilometers, right?
Yeah, I crushed 4 kilometers.
Oh man. Yeah, and to translate for people wondering, that's like about 2.6 or 7 miles. I wouldn't ever do that. That's a long time, but man, kudos go out to you for doing that, man. That takes a lot of mental substance to do something like that. But talking about mental toughness, what was like your kind of secret for mental toughness? Like you pushed your body and your mind so far. Like what was your secret sauce for something like that?
Uh, I don't know if there is a secret sauce, to be honest. And like there was so much preparation that went in like the 4 weeks it took us to plan this event. And there was so many things that we did that like once it came race day, I didn't need mental toughness because everything was already kind of planned out. So it's like everything down to like my salt pills were timed out every 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Like my food stops were like methodically planned, how many carbs I was going to take in, all programmed to my watch. My pacer would check on me. He'd make sure I peed enough. What color was my pee? Like, so it's like for mental toughness, I didn't really, all I needed to do was left, right, because everything else was outsourced.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. And yeah, that's kind of like what David Goggins talks about. Like it's not something you think about. It's just something you do, you know? It's just one
Yeah.
foot in front of the other. And that's what a lot of ultra runners talk about whenever they're doing like crazy 200-mile races or something. So,
Yeah. And if I'm going to give you something tangible that your listeners could use, is like when I was going aid station to aid station, there was like maybe 11 or 12. It's between a 6 to 10 mile gap between aid stations. And instead of thinking at the aid station, oh, I have another 60 miles to go, which would be devastating, I'd think more along the lines of, okay, I have 6 miles until my next break and my next aid station where my family and friends are waiting. And in that 6 miles, I would break it down by like 15-minute barriers of like, oh, 8 minutes till food or 5 minutes till salt pills. Or like when I was really hurting, like, oh, I'll run until I see that tree 200 meters ahead. Then I can walk, take my salt pill, and then start running again. So just trying to break it down into smaller bits.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's you have to really break it down because I feel like people can get overwhelmed, thinking like, oh, I have 50 more miles left to go. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hear a lot of people talk about breaking it down, stuff like that. Definitely useful advice. I'm gonna go ahead and hop into some of the questions that we ask every guest. So, what's your biggest weakness?
Uh, that's a broad question, my dude. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's your biggest weakness, um, athletically or like running wise?
um, well, I guess if I'm gonna go purely objectively speaking, maybe my knees.
Mm,
um,
yeah.
maybe maybe for me, if I'm gonna speak specifically for endurance sports, um, a lack of experience, maybe because
Mm,
I always played like power sports and I lift weights. I walk around at like 5'10", like 190 pounds. I'm not a high body fat percentage, so I'm a pretty thick dude. So it's like in the world that we're in, I don't think that weight helps me. Um, so maybe my knees, maybe being too heavy, and then like a lack of knowledge overall.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with the knee thing. Like I said earlier before the show, like I'm struggling with the knee thing too, and it's just on and off. And I don't know what's up with all the knees. 'Cause I know a lot of people have a lot of knee problems too, just from running and stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't know if we need to be drinking some more milk or what's going on there, but
Yeah, taking
yeah.
our greens and our dailies and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talk about like running on grass and running on softer surfaces and taking a break. And I've done all that. Like I've done everything that online says, and it kind of works, but not really. So yeah, I don't know. It's something our society's gonna have to figure out. They're gonna have to find out like a secret formula to fix knee problems.
Yeah,
So
you just Google how to fix knee.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So how long did it take you to like fully recover after this? Because like you ran like the most miles you've ever ran. So how long did it take you to like really fully recover?
Fully recover. I'm not recovered right now.
And it's
Um,
been months, right? It's been like
yeah, it's
several months.
yeah, it's been like almost 5 months now. So we're December 23rd today, and it was August 1st I ran the race. So yeah, like at least 4.5 months or more.
Mm.
Um, now to be like to feel human again, it took me like probably 2.5, 3 days. Like my brother is a medic. He was the guy in the video who was taking care of me, and for 3 days, like he had to help me put my pants on. Luckily, the place we were staying had a walk-in shower because I couldn't go upstairs, downstairs.
Wow.
I couldn't bend my legs. Like I was one big. My ankles were the size of avocados. Like it was. I was. I was hurting for a couple of days.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like that you could like push your body that far. I mean, David Goggins talked about when like his like feet were like bleeding and like his legs were like he almost like died doing his first ever 100-mile race with no training or something like that. So yeah, dude, that's insane that you could like push yourself to where you come back and your ankles are the size of avocados and you could barely walk upstairs. Like that's crazy to me. Uh,
Yeah.
so back, this is one of the last questions that I asked every guest is where do you see yourself in a year?
Oh, that's a good question. Is this just like, is this geographically speaking or like what I'm doing?
Um, it can be something like athletic wise or like running wise, or whatever you want it to be. Really, it's totally up to you.
Okay. So a year from now, I'm starting a YouTube show soon. So hopefully season one is out and we're filming season two because season one is supposed to be filmed in September if my knee holds up. So hopefully filming season two of my show. And then we would have just finished in this September next year's race. And then hopefully geographically I'm in like Costa Rica on a beach recovering.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm excited that you're starting a YouTube channel. Are you gonna post like running or like Iron Man stuff on there or something like that, or
Yeah,
what's
I'm
up?
gonna post like it's gonna be a mixture of stuff, man. There'll be videos of me. There'll be a series leading up to. It's like an Ultraman we're creating, so training for an Ultraman. But also there'll be probably videos of me eating spicy noodle challenges on the internet and like just working out, lifting weights, like whatever I want to post. I'm just gonna post it.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. So for those of you listening, if you guys want to see this guy trade for a crazy Ultraman, you'll be able to see it now. I don't know if I'd ever do one of those. That sounds pretty big and scary. So I don't know about that, but hey, kudos got to you, man. Um, so how hard was it running that distance that you ran? Like how like can you give us on a scale of like 1 to 10 how hard it was?
Oh man, I'd have to give it a 10, like, cause like, and like to me, like, I'm a personal trainer, so my scale of 1 to 10 is like 1 is so easy you could fall asleep, and 10 is like failure. Like there's like 10 is your limit, it's your absolute max. 10 is your failure, and like I did hit that point by the end of it, because
Yeah.
like for me, it's like you're a runner. So what kind of distances do you run normally?
In the summer, I was doing like 70 miles a week, but now I just do like 6 to 8 miles a day. So,
Okay, so have you ever had shin splints?
yeah, when I first started, I did. Yeah.
Okay, so I ran on shin splints for like 110 kilometers at least.
Wow.
So
That,
it's like in the first, like after the 40K mark, they started like splinting up. And then by the time it's like kilometer number 70, I'd say every step you take is like a little bit of feedback and a little bit of pain. And then by like maybe let's say by the 100K mark, this is my leg and my foot. You can no longer bend your foot like this anymore. It's like that's no longer an option. Your leg's just a club, like Goggins talking about taping up the tube sock.
yeah.
Running with like your hip flexors a little bit. So it's like it was at points it felt like biblical, man. It was really fucked up.
Wow. That's crazy, man. That's that's insane. I couldn't imagine that pain because like when I was in high school, we would do like cross country practice. Some kid would get like shin splints or something, quote unquote, and they wouldn't even go run like half a mile. And the fact that you ran on that for like the whole time is crazy to me. Like that's you're a tough dude. You're definitely a super mentally tough dude. I'd like to see you and David Goggins go at it one day. Is that something
Oh,
you'd want to do?
yeah. It'd be my dream to meet that man. Actually, at one point in the run, I had his book on my headphones.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to get humbled by that man. Put it that way. I'm not gonna talk it. I'm not gonna challenge anything, but I'd love to be humbled by him.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that book's awesome, by the way. For those
Yeah.
of you listening, if you haven't read David Goggins' book, "Can't Hurt Me," you got to go read that. Like I read it, I got like the actual like book version, and I read it for like 2 days straight. Like it's such a good book, and it motivates you after you like it like buffs you up a little bit. You go out, start doing push-ups and stuff. Yeah, there it is.
The man himself, the legend.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you guys definitely go check out that book though. Like that's an awesome book. And like it talks about writing. Did you like as soon as you got done with it, did you go home and put sticky notes on your mirror like he talks about?
Actually, after the race, I did, and I slept for like 13 hours once I eventually got back. And then I had bigger problems to worry about than the sticky notes, like getting pants on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah. Waking up this morning, I felt like I wanted to sleep 13 hours. I woke up and I was like the most tired I've ever been. I have no idea why. But hey, I can imagine sleeping after that. I bet you woke up and you were like the most stiff you've ever been. Like I bet like sitting up you could barely even do that.
It
That's
was
crazy.
bad. There was
Yeah.
a luckily I'm in Canada, so it's like there's some things that are legal here that you can use that help and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do Canadians so I have like one of y'all's like dollar like $5 bills from like 1980s or something crazy like that. Do y'all have like a separate language other than English or like what does that look like? Because on the dollar it was like some other language on there too and English.
Yeah, we're bilingual, so we got French too.
Oh no way! So like you could fluently speak French?
Uh, growing up, you get like an option of like taking core French courses till you're like 13 and then dropping them after, or you can continue. And I dropped them when I was 13, so I
Okay.
could like tell you my name and ask where the bathroom is and say thank you. stuff, but like I'm not going to be able to have a fluent conversation with someone who's a native friend.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of like that here. Like in Texas, I don't know what the other states do, but down here, being so close to the border of Mexico, like I could we they teach us in high school for like 3 or 4 years how to speak Spanish, and so I'm the same way. Like I'm not fluent in it, but like I could speak it and understand it a little bit, you know. So
Yeah.
that's crazy though that you guys are bilingual and that they do it to like 13. Ours is like after high school. The American and Canadian system so much different, but I don't know. I feel like Canadians and Americans are so much alike too, in a way. Um, what what does Canada think about Canada? What does Canada think about all the U.S. stuff that's going on over here in the U.S.?
You mean like politics and stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to know.
Uh, I mean, we get all the same media as you guys, so it's like we obviously have our opinions. You know, it's the left versus right's a very polarizing debate, and I think it's like we have a similar debate here, but less maybe entertaining. Uh, I don't know, man. I guess it depends on the person. I try to steer clear of it, but it's I don't know. I think we think it's like the rest of the world. It's just sometimes it's unbelievable some things that come out, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I saw a video of I don't know if this is real or not, because you know how the media is in the United States, but I saw a video of people in downtown Toronto or something carrying a bunch of I'm not gonna say like who or what side, but some one of the president's flags, they had like a whole parade. Does that happen in Canada that you know of?
Like you mean like political parades and stuff like that?
Yeah, but like for like United States president elects.
Oh, well, maybe, yeah, because like certain people, like for example, like let's say like Donald Trump, he's a polarizing man, but he enables two emotions, love or hate. So it's like if you love him, like you're gonna scream it to the rooftop and you might march for him, and if you hate him, you might do the same. So it's like I don't particularly know, but I would believe yes that like we definitely probably have people that would be willing to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I know a lot of people in the U.S. talk about moving to Canada and stuff like that. Um, would you suggest like what's Canada like? Is it like in my head when I think of Canada, I think of it snowing year round, but that can just be like
No,
like like what's it like? What's
no,
the
it's
climate like there?
how would I picture it? Picture like picture the seasons New York has year round. Cause so it's like summertime's beautiful. Like I think summertime in Canada is probably the best place in the world. It's short though, like 8 weeks. It feels like starts actually getting hot in July, and by September it's cooling off.
Hmm.
The more towards the middle you go, kind of like you guys, how you have like the Midwest. We have
Yeah,
that same thing. We have the prairies where it's like almost like nothing, but on the coast you have the coast and the southern part. You have lots of big, beautiful cities, great people.
hmm,
So I don't know. It depends what you're into, but it's beautiful. It's not crowded.
yeah, yeah. Are there like a lot of mountains in Canada?
Yeah, well, we like similar to like you guys with the Rockies. Like along the western part, we have like up like you've probably seen pictures of like Banff maybe or Whistler, these places, and it's yeah, it's like a different world. But that the mountains are very far away from me, like a 5 hour flight.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people like from the U.S. are interested about Canada, especially being in Texas, like on the most southernmost part of the United States. Like, just wanted to learn about Canada. I haven't ever talked to anybody from Canada, but it's interesting to hear like how things work. And it sounds like y'all are pretty much the same as us, but y'all have a little bit more. I don't know, y'all are a lot more calm about things compared to the United States. It seems like so yeah.
Hey, no passion.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. So, I'm gonna go through. Uh, did I ask you already what the next feat is? Like, what's your next? Um, what's like the next distance or challenge?
You did not.
It's the Ultraman, right?
Yeah, so in next year, we haven't officially locked down the date, but it's looking like September 2021.
Hmm.
We're gonna do an event An Ultraman. So I don't know if you know what an Ultraman is, or for your viewers, but it's basically anything that's longer than an Ironman distance triathlon, I believe, is considered an Ultraman. It might be, I might be wrong, and it might be two Ironmans and more as an Ultraman, but it's at least two is what we're looking at. Um, my participation will be dependent on what the knee surgeon tells me if that's an option or not.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, like, what are the distances for an Ultraman? Like, can you explain how like the distances, all the distances work and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'll try my best not to butcher this, but so for an Ironman, well, and then we can just times it. But 2.4 mile swim, 112-mile bicycle, and then a 26.2 mile run. So we're basically going to at least double that and probably add a little tiny bit because we have two really, really iconic places where we live that we want to start as our start point and end point, and it ends up being like a like a regular Ironman times 2.2 or something.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds like something fun. I guess for you, I definitely probably wouldn't do any of that in the future. So that'd be like a what, like a 50-mile run, a 12-mile swim, and then like a 200-mile bike ride or something crazy like that. Times a half, so more.
Yeah, it's like it wouldn't be a 12-mile swim, maybe like a 6 or 7 mile swim maybe. And then
Okay.
probably like a 240-ish mile bike, and then like a 50, maybe a 60 something mile run.
Hey, if you go up to Antarctica and do it up there, you'll be known as the toughest man on earth. There's a guy that has done an Ironman. Um, I don't know how he got to Antarctica because there's like a treaty to like barely anybody can go there. And also, like, I want to know about the conspiracies on Antarctica. Like, why can nobody go there? How come when you zoom in on Google Maps, it's not the actual picture of Antarctica? Like, bunch of weird
We
stuff going on there. Do you know anything about that?
I know nothing about that, but I have seen Project Iceman, and it's a great video to watch.
Yeah, yeah. So Project Iceman, that's the one to where he goes out there and does the Iron Man, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the Ironman or if that's the one where he did like the northernmost triathlon, but either way, like that guy and his team, like the videos of him in like the storage container -30 training and stuff, it's just iconic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for the people listening, like if you haven't seen that, you need to hop on YouTube and watch that too. You got a whole list today. You got to watch his documentary. Now you got to watch the one where he goes to Antarctica and does the Ironman there, and you also got to read W. Goggins. So I got a bunch of catching up to do, but that's insane. Running 26 miles in freezing ice cold weather and then swimming in like a negative. Who knows
Oh,
what the negative is? Like,
swim. What, like, really, like, I watched that, and like, to give you an idea, like, you're in Central Texas, so I think this will be cool to you, but like my parents live on a lake. So in the wintertime, like when I go there for Christmas in 2 days, normally the lake will be frozen. Now this year it might not be frozen, but that water is like if you have ice cubes in a glass, but you sunk your whole body in there, and he swam in that for like over an hour.
wow, that's crazy, man. And then he I think I saw a video of him like biking like through like this treacherous snow and like there's just a wind blowing on him. He did that too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like like he's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy what people do. And I want to know like what the next big thing like someone's gonna do is. I know some guy swam around all of Great Britain last
Ross,
year.
Ross Edgley's a monster.
Yeah, yeah. I watched him on YouTube. I watched his series with Red Bull. I unsubscribed when he was like halfway through just because I got tired of his videos and he barely moved. But then I subscribed a couple months later and he got close to finishing. So and he ended up finishing, which is crazy. So yeah, I want to know what the next big thing someone's gonna do is. Um, I think you could do it, man. You're pretty mentally tough. You should do something crazy.
We'll see. I gotta take some baby steps first and get this knee right. But I think I don't think I'm going anywhere in this world, and I think it's only gonna get a little crazier. You know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. Do you have anything else?
No, I guess I'd say that, yeah, check out the documentary. It's 12 minutes long too, so it's not going to take up a huge chunk of your day. But these guys who edited it, Ilian Farrow Productions, they're good guys. They're my friends. They're my buddies. But they've spent 200 plus hours editing this video. So it's this is a professional quality video. This isn't just a couple guys messing around with the camera. Like, this was very well done.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was, guys. And what's the name of that YouTube channel that it's posted on?
I believe their channel is called the what is it? The Influencers, I think is what they go by.
Yeah, yeah, I was about to say, I think it's called the influencers. I was looking at the comments, and when it only had like 60 likes, some guy commented, he was like, how does this only have 60 likes? And then I scrolled up, ended up having like 600 more since he commented that. So it's like blowing up slowly, but I bet it gets like 100K, something crazy like that. So
Oh, that'd be crazy,
yeah,
man. It'll
yeah,
anyone who likes the video, subscribe, because the second we have the trailer ready for the next year's race, that's the first place it goes.
yeah, yeah. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's all going to be in the description. Whether you're watching on YouTube or podcast, Spotify, whatever it's on, it's below. And then do you want me to put your Instagram below too?
Yeah, put all the handles down there. Follow me, engage with me. I'll talk back. If you have questions
Yeah.
about Canada.
Yeah, yeah, definitely follow him and let him know you came from the show too. But I think that wraps up everything. So getting into the outro, guys. So we get like hundreds of viewers and listeners, but we only have like 4 ratings on iTunes podcast right now. So if you're listening on iTunes, scroll down, click the 5-star symbol, and that's all you got to do. And I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. And then also, if you want to help out the show a little bit, I've been paying out of my own pocket for the show for a couple months now. But if you want to help towards that and only donate like $2 or $3 a month, join the Patreon below. And next Saturday, we're going to have on a super awesome guest, Coach Cliff Pittman from Arkansas. Super excited to have him on. But yeah, that's everything, guys. And I'll see you all next Saturday.